Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's an exciting weekend here at B'nai Torah as the congregation is going to meet Rabbi Paul Steinberg. Rabbi Steinberg is a candidate to be your next senior rabbi, and I'm hoping that things go really well. I know the people on the search committee have worked very, very hard. This Shabbat, we begin the book of Shemot. It's known in English as the book of Exodus. And so the book of Exodus is the story of our liberation and our freedom. And it forms the central aspect of coming together as a Jewish people and understanding what it is that God wants of us and how we are to understand God. Because God is the God who set us free from Egyptian bondage. So how do we have freedom? How do we hold on to freedom? We think about it in terms of democracy. And democracy we think about in terms of the rule of a majority. But democracy that matters is known as liberal democracy, not liberal in the sense of left versus right, but rather liberal in the sense that we set up a form of government that's divides its powers between a judicial branch, an administrative branch, and a congressional branch. And therefore, we know through that, we not only go by the will of the majority, but we can protect the minority also. It's so important that we're able to do that. So we have this notion then of freedom in our tradition, but it's also Martin Luther King weekend. So Dr. Martin Luther King was a fierce fighter for freedom, a fierce fighter for equality, and a fierce fighter for justice. For we believe that all of this is dependent on justice. I want to tell you one more thing about this. It's about justice. That different people have a different sense of what's just. We have to recognize that. And there probably is not an absolute justice, but there's relative justice. And so what he thinks would be just and she thinks wouldn't be just, we got to find a way to come together. And so maybe what's more important than justice here is compromise. We need to learn how to compromise, to live together as a community, to live together as a society, as a nation. I wish you Shabbat Shalom, and I look forward to seeing you in Shul.